Hey everyone, welcome to section 2 here of this Eruption analysis, and for this section we're going to be up in the high end of the guitar quite a lot, and I feel that, for me at least, this seems to be the most difficult part of the piece of music. There's a few patterns that Eddie used during his kind of live solos that I picked up on and translated them over to this original version of Eruption. I've seen people play this piece of music in the past using their own way, but the way Eddie kind of, the patterns that he used to actually use, I'll put a little, maybe like a little snippet of him playing a solo, which kind of gives you an idea of where I'm coming from. But we'll get straight to it, and let's get started. Okay, so let's get into action here. First three chords are as follows. A for an A power chord. The G. Okay, I play it as follows. Okay, so I'm putting my third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. My first finger I do not place onto the A string. I mute the A string with my 2nd finger here on the underside of it. Then we have the D, which is just a D, again a power chord. You can also add in the A note on the open A string, and then we slide up at the end. Adding in that open A there just sometimes makes it sound a little heavier, but that is to taste, basically. So now we get to the first part of the high section. Now this part involves a ton of string bends, so exercise your fingers a bit before playing this. But let's get to it. So I'm going to do 6 of this phrase here. Basically we're bending the 20th fret of the B up a full tone, then playing the high E on the 17th fret. So I do that around 6 times. On the 6th-ish one, when Eddie played it on the original, there's kind of a little bit of a, well, it's hard to know what he was doing. I think he just kind of made a little bit of a mistake, and that's why it kind of sounds, that's why you kind of can't work out what he was doing, just because it's a little bit of a mistake, probably. Even Eddie said himself he made a mistake or two when he was up at this high end, so, I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's just, it sounds cool, whatever he was doing anyway. And yeah, so I'm just trying to say, if you're wondering what it is on the original, it's difficult to work out because it was probably a mistake. And after we do those 6 string bends and whatnot, we're going to go into this section here, for these 3 notes. So, sounds kind of weird, right? Let's try and think where he might have been coming from for this. In like major blues, like there's a lot of this kind of minor to major kind of thing that goes on. Okay? And if you look at these 2 notes here, it seems like that minor to major. Okay? And then also when we're playing a lot of major blues, we can use this kind of Dorian note a lot. Okay? You hear that an awful lot. It feels to me like Eddie knows this sort of thing. I just kind of decided to use it in the high end here. So that Dorian note with the minor to major before it. It just kind of seems to me that's what he was thinking. And he did kind of have a background in music as well, so I guess he probably was thinking that, because the choice of notes really fit it. And after that we have this. Basically it's like a high E on the 17th fret, and then we use that Dorian note on the 19th fret on the B, bend up a tone and a half, which is 3 frets. We bend down and then back up again. And yeah, that's basically that part. So have a listen to the original for the phrasing, but for me it's kind of but basically thinking about what he was doing there, it seems like he was trying to involve a lot of that blues and a bit of Dorian type of thing. And right after that we do this little section here. Okay. Just basically 17th fret on the high, bending up the 20th fret on the B full tone, and then playing the 17th fret on the high again. And then I go to the 20th fret on the high, bend up a full tone, release the bend and pull off to the 17th fret. Okay, and then play the 20th fret again on the B. And then we end this with this little section here. Okay. This little section, again, it's just a repeated phrase. So we have the 20th fret on the B, bending up and down, releasing to the 17th fret on the B. And then we play, I use my second finger here on the 19th fret of the G. Then repeat that 3 times. And then bend that 20th fret on the B up again. Bit of vibrato always adds a bit of effect there. And that's basically that's the whole section with all the bends in it. Okay, so now we come to the final part of this section. It sounds like this slowly. Keep in mind I don't use a whammy bar, obviously, on this guitar. Therefore, I think this video is probably more accessible to people without one themselves. And I'm focusing, as I said, more on his musical ideas and patterns that he used to use. So, and this pattern, talking about patterns, that he starts off with here. I've seen people play this in different ways. Not to say it's wrong to do so, as long as it sounds good at the end of the day, then cool. But I will show you a little snippet now of Eddie using this in a live setting. Okay, so this pattern here is kind of, the notes are actually quite strange. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing with this. Again, he's starting on this note, so if we're keeping ourselves thinking about like the A, where we like the A pentatonic, he's kind of starting on the blues note here, okay? That note there. And then he hammers on, and the next 2 notes are basically just part of the minor pentatonic. But it's kind of a quirky sound, and he really enjoys these, kind of using these blues notes in quirky ways. And then we get to the high string, okay? Now these notes here, again, kind of strange. This note here is in the A major scale. However, this note is not, so maybe it's more like a harmonic minor. And then mixing in some blues. I'm not entirely sure why, what he was thinking. Maybe he just enjoyed the sound of it, and that was kind of as simple as that. Maybe let's not overanalyze it too much, but it's kind of a cool sound anyway. But that's what he starts off with. Just does that once in the original. Now he stretches his finger down, the first finger. We come to this sound here. Okay? Again, you can repeat that one over and just practice it. But basically, this is a diminished sounding thing. Actually, I didn't tell you the notes for the first part. The notes are 16, 17, and 20 on both strings, the B and the high A. I hammer on the first one, by the way. That's another thing. And then the top part, we pick all the notes. And the same with this one here, we have this diminished sound. So we have 14, 17 and 20. Hammer on the first 3 notes. obviously picking the first one on the B string, okay, and picking the top 3 notes, again in the same frets, 14, 17, 20. Sometimes I fumble a little bit here. The frets are very close together. I think that maybe that has something to do with it, but you kind of really have to hammer down quite hard to make sure those first 3 notes come out clearly. As you've seen with me, sometimes they don't, but hey. So yeah, another kind of cool sounding thing there. And when he gets to the high note there, he does a hammer on a sort of pull off a couple of times. Okay? So same frets, you know, 20 to 17, but practicing between those 2 fingers, doing your trills is kind of a good thing. And then we pull off to the 14th fret. And then we put our finger to the 20th fret on the B, and then play the 14th back again on the E. Okay? Then we have a pull off here on the 17th fret to the 14th on the B. Okay? And then we have 17 on the G, 14 on the B. So we have, and then we have a bend a full tone up and down on the 17th fret of the G, and then we bend it down and pull off to the 14th fret. And then I kind of go, okay, that's 3 notes on the 17th fret of the G, and then pulling off to the 14th fret on the G. And he kind of uses the whammy bar for that part, like kind of bends into the note 3 times, then pulls off, but as I said, doing what I can here. And so that's that part basically. So kind of interesting. That basically is just the end 3 notes are just simple pentatonic, you know, but he's just going out from that kind of that diminished sound into that. And that's basically the section, so hopefully I've cleared up a few things there for you with a little snippet that I put in, and hope you can practice that and come up with some fun things with those patterns yourself, if anything.